This is Goshen TV.
Welcome, viewers, to the hot seats on Goshen TV. And we're having a very interesting Nigerian, a proud son of the soil, a Niger Delta politician that very intelligent, very hardworking. He's been the DG of Nimasa, a former governorship candidate of the APC in Rivers State. We're talking of Dr. Dakuku Ador Peterside. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, and good day, viewers.
Yeah, nice to have you on Goshen TV.
My pleasure.
All right, so it's a privilege to have you here. Let's begin with your life after Nimasa. How has it been?
Well, it's been eventful, hectic, quite demanding. I got involved in a number of projects. One, immediately I left Nimasa, I tried to conclude a book about my time in Nimasa and the reforms I championed. That book is titled The Strategic Turnaround, which was published the first quarter of this year. That's one. Now, two, I started writing columns for newspapers, and that's quite engaging. I got involved in speaking, and I started, despite the COVID, having a speaking engagement in Kenya, in South Africa, in Egypt, and in Ghana. That also kept me on my toes. Also working on a second book. Then I set up a consulting outfit on leadership development and organizational re-engineering, or what they call transformation. I tried to also get in touch with old classmates, schoolmates, those that have not been in touch with for a very long time, and look at interests that I consider personal. So it's been quite challenging, having a lot of engagements in country, out of the country. I don't have too many research assistants, so I end up doing a lot of research myself to engage, whether as a speaker, as a public opinion analyst, as a contributor to public affairs, or even speaking on my primary area of interest in leadership development, and in my secondary area, maritime politics, and all the other areas that I have interest. So it's been quite eventful, and I think that I'm a lot more busier now than I was when I was in office.
Well, you've been in the House of Representatives. You've been commissioner 2 times, commissioner of works in Rivers State. You've been DG Nimasa. And yeah, you said you're quite busy now. You're busier than you were when you were in office. But as much as you're busy, have you been able to convert this into Naira and Kobo?
Well, it depends on what is your primary interest in life. My needs are not too many, that's one. My primary interest has never been money. It's never been financial or economic gain. I've lived a life of service, and I'm still living a life of service. And what matters to me is impact. If in course of making that impact, it generates money, fine and good. I don't set out to make money my priority at all. I've never. Whether in public life, in private life, I've never made money my priority. And that's why I'm among the few Nigerians who can say certain things. Very few, because I know my moral standing, I know my value system, I know what is important to me. It's not what is important to most other persons who are in public life.
You're saying money is not a priority to you, and that reminds me of one statement that your leader, the transport minister, used to say, Rotimi Amechi. He doesn't love money, doesn't like money.
That's his value system, and you can't fault it. And those who think otherwise should challenge him with evidence or facts. I'm among the few Nigerians that can say I'm not corrupt at all.
When you say you're not corrupt. Amici has also said he's not corrupt. But I remember there was a time the current governor of Rivers State took him on and told Nigerians about the kind of things that happened, what he met in office. There was nothing. He started off from nowhere. There was no money in the Treasury. He listed some of the projects that were abandoned, which he had to even take over from. So, how do we...
You're talking about two things.
Yeah.
One, opinion is free. Facts are sacred. The governor has right and is entitled to his opinion. His opinion is that he met an empty treasury, and no, that is not a fact. The fact is that he met a lot of money in Rivers State Treasury at the level of the ministries, various ministries, at the level of the states. That's one. Now, two, he met the least death profile at the time he became governor among the 6 Niger Delta states. And that's a lot of value. If he says that the governor, his predecessor rather, is corrupt, please, he has one or two options. One, go to court and get him to come and explain what he did with Rivers People's money. Challenge him in court. The second one is that go back to the Rivers people through the State House of Assembly and lay the facts bare. And I believe that the young men and women who are in the House of Assembly are patriotic and reasonable enough to call the former governor, the honorable minister, to question. He's not done any of that. He's not presented facts before the people or evidence. He's made some wide allegations. I'm aware he's made those wide allegations. And it's usual with him. But it is what it is. No substance, no fact, no evidence. And if you take him seriously, well, it's up to you. I've learned a long time ago, people no longer take him seriously. And so it's not anything for anybody to worry about.
Oh, well, but I think Nigerians, Rivers people, will actually take him seriously when he's talking about the monorail project, because that one is there for everybody to see.
Good. Now, that's why I say you're talking about two different things. Talking about corruption and projects that were not completed. Monorail, yes, was a project in progress. It's not completed. And there's nothing wrong with that. Government is a continuum. What anybody expects a reasonable governor to do is to continue the project. You can redesign the project. You can reevaluate the project. And it doesn't amount to corruption in any way. It doesn't in any way amount to corruption.
What is corruption?
Corruption is taking advantage of your office to benefit from the system. It's not, you can benefit from the system legitimately. But when you take undue advantage of your position, that's corruption. And so it may not be financial benefit alone. It could be other forms of benefit. Once you use the influence you have, you apply it wrongly, it's corruption.
So would you say Amechi never took advantage financially of the system? That's the one. Would you say Wike, as of today, is taking advantage of the situation corruptly?
Now, there are two things.
Yeah.
The first is that I am not Governor Amechi's spokesman.
Yeah.
And so you can put me on the spot.
He's your leader.
He's my leader and mentor.
Yeah, okay.
No argument about that. To the best of my knowledge, I can say that he's not corrupt. And that if anybody thinks otherwise, he should come forward with evidence. We don't live in a banana republic. We live in a society governed by laws. And there's a prescribed manner of doing things. If I think that this man is corrupt, I'll come forward with evidence. This is the evidence of corruption. He took advantage of his office to either appropriate things, misapply things, or secure things for himself that ordinarily he's not entitled to. Or he abused the office he occupies, or public trust. None of this has been advanced.
On YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Goshen TV. This is The Tonic.